But this is some of the weather that run us out of Canada to begin with. We're approaching Duluth, Minnesota, and I think I got a little footage of the place we stayed there on the lake on our way up. I think it's on our, no, I guess it's on our way back because we stayed at St. Cloud going up, yeah, Edgewater. That's Lake Superior there at Duluth, and it's just a little bit north of there is where they do that processing. I don't know where the hell we are here. Oh, I'm on approach over New York City, and I got a song I want to play for this, that Concrete Monster. I don't miss that at all since I quit traveling. You can bet on that. Hold on. I don't know where my wife gets all these songs. Kind of like her books. She got a book on anything, and if you want a song, she got a song on anything. That's the World Trade Center we just got a glimpse of, and I believe this was the Hudson Tunnel. This is where I get a half a picture of Manhattan. My friend had picked me up there, my salesman actually that worked for me in New York. The shade of his windshield there, I didn't notice through the camera because the bottom was giving me a good light meter reading. But here you're going to watch the half a picture of Manhattan. I believe this is Wall Street that we're at here. Checking out the talent as we go along. From Gooseberry Falls to Manhattan. Here we're in Chinatown. You kind of give me the cook's tour of the area. Some of the places I remember, some I don't. Yeah, we're still in Chinatown. Those long braids there, buddy, you don't play with. They kick your teeth out. That was the Bowery there. That seen some of them poor drunks laying on the sidewalk. I assume this is Broadway. We should be approaching Times Square. That's Radio City. They can have this concrete jungle. If we paid $23 for that island, we paid too much. Yeah, that was some of the theaters on Broadway. There's Jack Dempsey's restaurant. Times Square is coming up here. I guess it's all right if you're born up there, but for a hay hauler like me in the Midwest, I don't want no part of that city. Here we take a little cruise through Central Park. I believe we come out of Central Park and we'll be in Harlem. Yeah, this is Harlem that we're driving down the main street in Harlem here. We're passing the Apollo Theater there. It's quite a famous theater in Harlem. There's the Statue of Liberty in the distance. Actually, the Statue of Liberty, as far as I'm concerned, is in New Jersey. It's not in New York. We're coming across, I think we come back a different tunnel. Flatbush Avenue, everybody knows, a part of Brooklyn. And where we're at here, I don't know. Oh, yeah, I do. We're over the Rockies, and we're leaving the East Coast, and we're heading for the West Coast. And I want to get rid of that New York music, so just stand by a minute. Yeah, we're over the Rockies here. We're headed for, on this trip, I believe we're going into San Diego. Lee and Chris is with me on this business trip. And I believe I had business out there with Roar Aircraft in Chula Vista, just south of San Diego. We touched down, it looks like here, we touched down at Lost Wages, Las Vegas, on the way out. I don't remember that well, but I'm sure it is. It could be Phoenix, but I think it's Las Vegas. Didn't have enough money to stay over there. Oh, now we're in San Diego Bay. I'm out trying to make a living, and the guns from these ships in the San Diego harbor there woke up Lee and Chris. They was having a mock battle where they were attacking an island there, and Chris had enough alertness to grab the camera and get up, take a picture of it. I was going to go out to the gun range and get you a soundtrack to go with this, but after the waterfalls, that was a little too difficult. Very shortly here, we ought to be going into Tijuana, Mexico. But for this particular scene, we're playing Kenny Rogers and Sail Away With Me, or whatever. Yeah, I want to put on that song I mentioned earlier about Tijuana here. Stand. Yeah, that song goes pretty good with Tijuana, even though it is Madrid. This is the shopping area for the tourists that go down to Tijuana. You get to the border, you can get into a cab, and even if the man doesn't speak English, you can say Woolworths, and they'll take you to the Woolworth dime store, which is in the middle of this shopping district. And there's Lee and Christine pumping money into the Mexican economy. I think one of the greatest thrills that I've ever had in life was riding in a taxi cab in downtown Loop, Chicago, and this taxi cab ride here in Tijuana. I started taking pictures, and he wanted to give me a ride to remember, and he damn sure did. As you'll see here as we're approaching the border, coming back into the States. And of course in Tijuana, as in New York and the Falls, I keep looking and checking out the talent for you talent lovers. That is not dirt at the top of your screen. That's the Surrey with the fringe on top. He had that dangling by his windshield. Right along here, he's starting to impress me. He sure as the hell impressed me. On this intersection coming up, only the brave get across. Here we are at the border. I guess we just passed the intersection I was talking about. There goes Lee and Christine after they blew all the money in the Mexican economy. I don't know where we go when we leave the West Coast. I think we jump all the way back to the East Coast, maybe down in Florida or somewhere. There's Christine there, and somewhere along here I was checking out the local talent. I believe this talent, the lady's walking a little slow here because she had a rough night in Tijuana. If you've never been to Tijuana, you don't know what a rough time is to go down there sometime. This is taken from the balcony of the motel that we stayed there at Harbor Island in San Diego. We had a room up on the 9th floor, but Lee got high shy on the balcony, so I had to move us down to the 2nd or 3rd floor. And while we was there, we had to see SeaWorld. Anyone that goes out there, they want to see SeaWorld. And I don't know why, but I want to put on a different song for this. I can't remember. It's been so long since I put this film. Oh, now I remember. I think I do. Yeah, that's The Heat Is On I Get. Better get his butt in the water and turn the fire off in there. There you go. We was watching the divers here at SeaWorld. It's for the tourists. Entertainment. This guy goes way up on that pole. You couldn't run me up on top of that pole with a shotgun. I wouldn't go. Just shoot me here. Well, we've had enough of the Heat song. I just put that in for that diver, and I want to get back to something just a little more soothing. Yeah, that's a little more soothing. Hank Williams Jr. come along here with I Ain't Misbehaving. There goes my lovely wife and Christine, pumping money in the economy. Oh, this is where the little Japanese ladies, they dive down in the water about, 18, 20 feet to get cultured pearls. You give them $5 and whatever they bring up. is yours, you know. They're basically all the same size, and it's quite an accomplishment to dive that deep in the water and, you know, bring up the oyster shells. But I think one of their greatest accomplishments is that they keep that white dress down over their buns as they come and go. That's down below. It's kind of like a filming in the fish boat. You can go down in this tunnel and you can film these young ladies as they come down and dive. But seriously, that takes some physical exertion to dive that deep and come back up the way they do. There's the tunnel I was telling you about. I don't know where, this is not another one of them waterfalls with them broad. No, this is SeaWorld. When you're in San Diego, I would recommend that you go see SeaWorld with the killer whales. Shamu, I think, is the name of this whale.
I don't stay out late. I don't gotta go. I'm home about 8, just me and my radio. Anxious to heaven, saving my love for you. Oh, oh, yeah. I'll chip it.
Boy, now there's a crazy ride. I had a hold of some fish, but I never had them that way. Must be like that big catfish out there at Daryl and Chris's farm. I can't handle that one either. But he's in trouble. I'm going after him tomorrow, which will be almost May 186. I'm going to take a picture of catching him. I'm going to weigh him. I'm going to brand him, and I'm going to turn him loose for the amateur. Now, what we're seeing here is a hang glider. And this is when hang gliding was somewhat in its infancy. And this fella here on a speedboat out over in the ocean, they bring him up to altitude. And when he broke through those clouds, he was at 1,500 then. And you got to have more guts than Dick Tracy to come in the way this guy is doing into the SeaWorld here. And that was quite an accomplishment in those days. It's rather common now, but I look at that guy like a pioneer as you would Wilbur Arnold, only he didn't have an engine. I think we go from here to the San Diego Zoo. There's Lee and Chris, they're feeding the dolphins. Everybody loves dolphins. Them dolphins got more sense than us humans, I think, at some time. But as we know, we're in Old Town, and what fascinated me here, this old Spanish estate, is the shrubbery and the trees, the shape of which I've never seen before. That was more fascinating to me than a hell of a lot more than SeaWorld. Here I'm checking a talent again. Always trying to stay alert for the talent. Now here we're going down in what they call a rainforest. You go down in there and you look around, and then you take an escalator back up. And they didn't change the photography of the ground when they built this zoo, and it's very fascinating. Got a change. And now we're back to the music change as we continue on through the San Diego Zoo. What you're looking there is cane that's grown. It's evidently imported, but it's like bamboo cane. And I think they use some of that to feed the animals that are used to eating that type of vegetation. And here we're still checking a talent. Not too great, but the only talent available. I wonder if anyone watching this has realized back in Okefenokee that there is no crocodiles. Crocodiles are North Africa. Only in Okefenokee they got alligators. Somewhere along here, a rhinoceros gives me the message as to what he thinks about the tourists. And I think at that point that we will leave getting his message and head back east to West Palm Beach, Florida one more time. And that's where we're at right now. In this rainy, miserable weather you're seeing here, I sat down there for 4 days waiting for the weather to get where we could go out in one of those fishing boats you're looking at. I was on an unlimited expense account, and I was down there to take some customers fishing, and I have yet to be able to go saltwater fishing. And some of the fish you're about to see, when I was there, I filmed them. When they come out of the ocean like you're looking at here, the color is beautiful, but within 10 minutes they lose the color. The big one there is a grouper or a sea bass. The pelicans, we all know. And we're going to have to change the music again here. I'm as busy as a cranberry merchant at Thanksgiving. Hold on.